And activate the ability, yes! First game, and we are already doing it. Okay. Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we have an extremely special day. We finally got the Bro, and we are definitely a bro. So all the new cards are finally here, and what can be better than to play Azorius Control in the first days? And all the new cards. So you will also learn combo that you might not know. This is one of the most insane interactions, and I didn't originally think about it. So stay tuned if you want to have early edge on some tips and tricks in combat. So let's go through the early cards. Soul Partition. This exiles a non-land permanent, and it can be recast, but it is 2 mana more expensive, and it hits everything except land. So even, enchantments, things like this, it's really strong, and you will see it in the games today. When they recast it, the creatures usually don't matter because we have full control over the game. Defabricate, kind of weird counter spell, but you can use it as a stifle, so counter activated or triggered ability. Scatter Ray is something I've tried to test. It didn't come into play too much. I think it's kind of better Essence Scatter in current standard, but we'll see. And for the big cards, Urza Sylex Sweeper, you play it for 3 mana, then you sweep for 4, and it destroys everything except 6 lands. And yeah, you can even destroy all excess lands, so that's a big deal, especially if you combine it with Soul Partition. On expensive creature, they actually cannot recast it without drawing like 2 or 3 lands. And when you use the sweeping, you can pay extra 2 colorless mana, and suddenly you draw a Planeswalker card from your deck. You basically tutor for whatever you need. It will be Teferi, Tezzeret, or Emperor in this deck. Union of the Third Path, card that I've been trying to use, and man, like I'm not sure, but it seems absolutely cool. Like being on 25 life against pretty aggressive decks is pretty normal, and that's absolutely insane. Like, even against mono black, you have so much life that you don't care. Alright, Urza, Lord Protector, the main card for the deck. 3 mana, you probably know this guy. 3 mana to 4 Azorius mana. So artifact instants and sorcerer spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast. So basically, pretty much all of the cards in the whole deck benefit from this. I guess only Planewalkers doesn't, but rest is just cheaper. This is one of the reasons we have Negate. Similar with the Jin. You use 4 mana, you cast Urza, and you have 1 blue mana for a hard counter spell like Negate. And then when Urza is saved, you can follow up with the Mightstone and the Weakstone. Of course, the part of the melding combo. So when this enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards, and yeah, you can also use the ability to -5/-5 some creature. So it's up to you. Do you want value, or you want kinda tempo and just kill one of the creatures? So it's basically a 5 mana removal, but you still get the ability, and the ability is add 2 colorless mana, but it cannot be spent to cast non-artifact spells. So similarly to Power Stone tokens, right? And this has very high synergy with the deck. First, it gets discounted to 4, so of course you can play it on curve. Urza turn 3, then the Mightstone Weakstone, and then on next turn you can meld it. Yeah, we probably should talk about the meld ability. 7 mana, which can be achieved with 4 mana Mightstone, 2 extra mana that you get on the next turn, and land you play. So that is exactly to, so you can play the Super Planewalker on curve on turn 5. Basically, you get the Super Planewalker that can activate all the abilities twice a turn, and all of his abilities are absolutely broken. Like, let's be honest. So the first +2 is that the one you probably use the least. So all the artifact, instant, and sorcerer spells cost 2 less to cast. You gain 2 life. It's okay. The +1 is better. You draw 2 cards, then discard a card, and usually use the 0 ability combined with something, either draw or exile. So for 0, you create 2 1/1 tokens that are basically a blocker, champ blockers. -3 means you exile target non-land permanent, so you can also cast it and exile 2 cards, and just have 1 loyalty Planewalker on empty board usually. It's usually not what you do. 1 exile is at the most, because you don't want to get too low loyalty, because this is everything you have played your game to, so you just want to save it at all costs. And -10 is basically one-sided sweeper, I believe. Artifacts and Planewalkers you control gain indestructible Yeah, and destroy on non-land permanent. So basically a sweeper. Cool, very cool, if you make it work. Usually they scoop after you melt, that's the truth. But you will see today the meld version, and we even use some abilities, so that's cool. Oh my god, Emperor, you probably know the card. Tezzeret, you know the card, so let's not talk about. Teferi, absolutely broken Planewalker. Oh my god, when you see it in the games today, it is so much better than you think it is. The tokens are absolutely crazy. You can play the token and just pump it to 5/5 easily in the same turn. And when you untap, it's even worse. Don't forget this. Okay, let's read the card. Teferi, 5 mana Planewalker, 4 loyalty, 0 draws a card, and whenever you draw a card, you put loyalty. So basically a 0, draw a card is +1 loyalty. And -2 creates the token on the right, which has vigilance and basically gets +1 counters instead of, the loyalty. -12 is a one-sided sweeper as usually. Not the perfect one, but it's fine. And the point is that whenever you draw cards with, for example, the Mightstone and the Weakstone, or the Tezzeret, or like Bankbuster, every single time you put counters on this, and you can chain those cards into cards into cards, and suddenly if you play this and -2, you have a very strong blocker and a very strong Planewalker, and then you draw some cards and suddenly this is 6 loyalty, your creature token is 6/6. It gets absolutely crazy. And sometimes the token is bigger threat than Teferi, but usually they want to get rid of the Planewalker and then they are left with 6/6 Spirit. They cannot handle, this grows even more and more, and it can take over the game. And the fact that it has Vigilance, it means that you can pressure your opponent while still defending, and that's a big deal if you have 10/10. Very often you are on the defensive. So, extremely good. Everything just works here, and I really enjoy the game. So, probably, I really like the deck. For the crafting, you probably want Teferi. At least 2. Like, if you are a control player, you at least craft 2. You probably will use 3 most of the time. Mightstone, Weakstone, I like the combo. Like, definitely deck can be played without it, but I think it's part of the coolness of the deck, and this card is actually pretty nice. It always felt good when we played it. It gives you value, it gives you card, mana, acceleration. Don't forget this 2 colorless just gives you 3 Bankbuster activations. So it's just all around very cool. And Urza with all the discounts, 2/4, it's a very good stat line for, 3 mana creature. And the fact that everything is cheaper means that you can combine it for like tempo advantage. So I honestly like the deck. Urza Sylex, this is something I'm not exactly sure about. Farewell might still be better. This plays into synergies a bit more, but if you aren't sure about crafting, this is the big I don't know, I would say. So maybe wait with this one. Soul Partition, it is a risky card in a way, but so far I really liked it. I think it's a really cool card, and Fateful Absence was played. It had kinda worse effect, you could argue, and I like this one a bit more. So for me, that's 4 off, but we will see in meta. So subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. We are recording very late in the evening, and I had to buy infinite packs so you guys can see on the basically 2 first hours already a video. So yeah, my wallet is absolutely drained with everything. So yeah, if you can subscribe, that would be great. Alright, let's go into the games. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy, and the games were very nice. Alright, we're going first. I kinda like this hand. Like one Bankbuster too much, but other than this, absolutely perfect. And we are on the bridge with a Goblin and a Robot. Reverse, basically. So we definitely want the Bankbuster. Yeah, that's really important to set it up, especially with like Soul Partition. Like, we can bluff, we can see what we get, and let's see how it goes. Jadar. Okay, 2 damage into my face. Alright, we do not need the 3rd mana, so we go for the Cove. And I mean, if he attacks, then it's pretty sneaky to kill Jadar before the end step. This way he doesn't get back the zombie, and he assumed he will. But he might have better things to do, especially if that's like combining the red mana. It means a lot of sacrifice effects probably. Alright, whenever another creature you control dies, Each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, so this is our new target, I think. Alright, and we do it before, of course. So this one is removed for a time being. And we are slowly getting into Emperor. So this, when this decayed, it's, yeah, another creature. It can be token. Ooh, Tezzeret. Alright, that's actually a big deal. That's actually a big deal. Do I want to go for 5? Yeah, let's try it. Like, I like it so much more than the Bankbuster in my hand right now. And the Mightstone is definitely helpful. We can draw a card because of the Tezzeret passive, so that's also an additional card for free. And like, we are getting value, and right now he can deal 3 damage, he needs to deal 5. And that's a tapland, so alright, Rite of Oblivion. That's definitely one of the strongest answers. But it means that he wasted card, he sacrificed a creature, so 2 damage for us, and we still got all the cards, right? It will be Blast Zone. We have enough mana. So I think we, yeah, definitely the Mightstone and the Weakstone. Like, it's such a good deal. And with Bankbuster it means that we can keep drawing cards for free, which is super amazing. It is tempting to just draw 2 cards, but I think it's a bit better this way. And let's see what he does. We have 1 extra card anyway, and with Soul Partition, Teferi, Emperor, we should start doing stuff. Alright, so of course we draw in response. I mean, I don't know if upkeep stops work the same way, so we will just do it like this. It means that we don't activate Teferi, which is not perfect, but it is okay. Yeah, you probably don't want this to happen. Let's go for the Blast Zone and the Soul Partition. So sure that for a moment, like, he needs to recast it. And if he does, oh, that's such a good, oh my god. Look at this combination, like, you did not see this one. Look at this stuff. Now this cannot be used to cast spells, but it can be used to use the Bankbuster. And the Bankbuster will create a treasure, and treasure will give us mana to cast a fairy. BAM! Mythic freaking plays. And I mean, he will go for the Rite of Oblivion. So I think we go for the Spirit token, because then, like, this will grow very, very quickly. And it means that he has a big problem, because he needs to kill Teferi with the Rite. It costs him full turn, he doesn't do anything, he has nothing on the board. And then we have infinite mana, basically. By the way, we also have another Teferi. Yeah, he's like slowly falling super behind. And you will see the power of this little token. This will be absolutely huge, especially with another Teferi and with Union. Like, we will have 6 mana or 7, depending on what we do. So we cannot cast both at the same turn, but it will be close enough. Infernal Grasp on top. Well, he's definitely grinding the cards, but as you can see, he has cards in exile, but it's just not tempo efficient to play them. Alright, so they do not have haste. He really used basically everything he had. And I really want to use the Blast Zone anyway. And we have, yeah, we can use Eiganjo, whatever happens. So now we draw a card because he has no Rite of Oblivion. Oh man, that's such a nice draw. Yeah, we have 4 mana for this one. And we just say go. I think about haste creatures, you know. There is a chance he has something that can attack Teferi. And if Teferi won't die, he won't win the game. It's usually like this. If you see 5 mana Teferi, you either kill him or lose the game. Oh, 4 mana for a 2-drop. Oh, feels bad, man. Like the partition, I kinda like it. It definitely had potential this game. So I mean, I do not mind drawing cards, my friend. So let's start with it. The more cards we have, the better, because we need to answer short that. And we... Okay, so first we do it like this. And yes, this is legendary, so one will die, but that's why we used mana from this one. And now we get new effect, and I will draw 2 cards. Teferi will get stronger. Sylex, oh man. This starts to be insane. And now we can use the Union of the Third Path, right? Yep. Now we draw a card. We will be at infinite life. Man, healing 7 with this one is so easy. And Teferi just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Next turn we will cast Urza, most likely. Now I play land because now I have 1 less card, so 1 HP. And I mean, do we go for the Sylex? Yeah, I think so. I don't know what will happen, but it is a nice board clear. By the way, if you partition something that is 5 or more mana, it will cost 7, so with Sylex you can actually destroy lands for your opponent so he cannot cast his stuff. That's kinda hilarious. Our Teferi is at casual 10 loyalty, so I really hope he has some kind of destroy effect. We do not attack, because all we need to do is save Teferi basically. Yeah, and we have 1 more, if I recall. It means that we can use Sylex, clear everything, and just get another Teferi if we have to. We could also start -2 all the time and just make a bunch of dudes, which would probably win us the game. Most likely. Alright, that's some damage at our turn, but he needs to kill Teferi anyway. So it might be rough. I mean, sure, I will trade. We cannot trade with Shrouded anyway, so that's actually a really good deal. And we'll trade because of the Death Touch, of course. Easy draw. Yeah? Like, I lose 2 life, but I get a card, okay? I'm the winner here. I hope. If he attacks, we just kill it with Eiganjo. And in all honesty, he has to do it. Next turn we can also ultimate. And with the Union, man, like, Shrouded is not as scary if you have so many cards. I will cast Urza, or we can just use... Yeah, I will just cast Urza. I don't mind it. And Blast Zone works very nicely with the Mightstone. So yeah, we lose 1 HP by playing the Urza, and I guess another one due to land. I think we play the land. But at this point, at 21, I'm absolutely not scared. So let's see. Our opponent needs a lot of stuff because we are melding next turn. You know what? Let's try to save our bro. Our protector. Our hope. I mean, I never wanted to save him. Yeah, it's not stat-based removal, so no point in playing Emperor and pumping. If he attacks, we just play the Emperor and kill Shrouded and he scoops. Most likely. He has to, because we have ultimate, and ultimate is like absolute sweeper. We could also use the pilot to block, then use a Eiganjo, but why? And man, the partition, like, it nearly disabled those cards for like permanently. Sure, I will draw my card. I'm down to 24. We can even ultimate. I mean, that's kinda fun, but we'll just make dudes. Making dudes is always better. So, let's start making an army, and we will just slowly finish him. And we will block with the pilot, so we pump this one.
Strike fast and strike hard.
And I mean, we don't need to do anything. Our opponent needs to kill... Man, it's so different with all those cards, like suddenly Shrouded seems like 0 pressure. And he has Shrouded for like half a game in different forms. It just does not matter, man. If he attacks, I just play the Emperor. Let's go for 4. So we pay 3, right? Put X. We have 1, it means we will go to 4. Just, you know, so we don't mess it up. It's actually a kinda easy card to mess up, if you don't pay attention. Sure. Stuff, and we can always kill it with Teferi, but why would we when we can make an army, and that army will be bigger. Also, Vigilance is such a big deal. Man, I really like the deck and the cards. Alright, first little Teferi, going on action, down to 19. Bro, it will go very quickly from here. And with Soul Partition and double Emperor, man, even if he kills it somehow, we can always activate Sylex, pay 2, get Teferi, play Teferi on empty board. And our opponent will be down to 6 lands anyway. See? Exile target, non-permanent, for as long as this can remain exiled. A spell cast by an opponent this way. Man, can I target my own Teferi? Just for science. Yeah? Man, this is a protection spell. This is... Wow, this card is absolutely great. Now we have Teferi, and we don't even pay more, because a spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. This is probably interaction you didn't know about, and I also didn't. I mean, sure. We don't need more. So now we cast Teferi, because, you know, he's a good card, I heard. And we -2. Now we -1. And when he targets Teferi with the next thing, we just bounce Teferi. And Teferi is invulnerable. Man, have you seen this interaction anywhere? Because I didn't. Oh, that's such a bad... I tried to make deck with this, but... Like, it's fun, but... It didn't have great results, let me tell you that. Oh no, it's a 2-1. That's crazy. I mean, let's break his spirit and just go insanely efficient. Let's go planes. Don't forget, this is an ability, so you can use this kind of mana on this creature. And we don't even need to sacrifice any of our creatures. And believe me, they will grow very quickly. And yeah, let's just keep doing stuff. Like, it definitely works pretty well so far. Let's make another dude. And as you can see, with Teferi you can make a lot of dudes very quickly. Are we? Okay, 3-3. So we don't need more. And let's keep attacking. If he blocks, we can even play another Emperor and just kill this. Which honestly is probably the best idea. We don't really care about all the Emperors. We can be wasteful. So we pump this one. It's basically a removal. So +1, remove a creature. That's a really good deal. And yeah, like we are nearing the end game. And man, the fact that you have Sylex, so whatever goes wrong, you reset the board and you get Planewalker, which is basically a Teferi or Emperor. Drag to the bottom. Sure. Like, we will make as many as we need to. He's down to 0 cards right now. Do I want... Like, I can just get back the Mightstone and the Weakstone. So we can draw more cards? Yes, please. Alright. Dude. First we do this. Because now Teferi will grow and he will be able to make a creature. Which is absolutely amazing. So don't tap Teferi too early, because like it can give you much more value than you think. Now Mightstone and the Weakstone. Now we draw another card. This way Teferi grows. We can do it again. Oh my god. I mean, it's fun. Like, for me it's absolutely fun. We should tap this one, but it's also fine. Let's draw more cards. That's another Teferi. That's so 3. Oh my god, he just killed this spirit and it's already back as 5-5. Oh man, I nearly feel bad. Nearly. Yeah, like, they won't kill us. Oh man, that's so funny. Alright, so it's our turn, and now we grow. Yeah, like, now he's absolutely out of the game. Teferi is just making those spirits, and those spirits are so threatening. Like, look at this, in one turn we created it and it already went to 5-5 with no real, like, try-harding. Alright guys, man, I'm so excited. We are keeping all the hands, even double Teferi. Of course, Soul Partition will have some work. Let's start with the blue one, so we can fake mono blue and scare our opponent. So, in the meantime, you probably read the cards already, but you know, we can still highlight them. So of course we get Artifact Instant Sorcery spells, being 1 less to cast, and it's only colorless mana. So our opponent plays some kind of weird burn stuff. Alright, whenever you cast, deals 1 damage. I think I will invest some extra damage just to make sure that nothing worse comes, because next turn is taken by Urza. Our opponent smartly attacks our face for 1 damage. Just let's go get on with it, bro. Like, we need new cards. We need to play them and have fun. Play your stuff. I know it will deal damage. Oh man, just I want to see Urza and Teferi. Man, double Teferi is not optimal at the start of the game. Bro, for friend's sake. Thank you. Cool. I'm glad we have sorted this one out, especially if he didn't play. Yeah, you play your creatures, your spells, you burn my face. Great. I'm absolutely amazed by all your plays. So crazy, so good. Man, this card is pretty good, but it's Urza. It's actually better that he did it. He gained 1 damage, but at the cost of not being able to answer Urza. He might even scoop at this point, in all honesty. Like, when we start getting all the extra tempo, like, first we go for the Union. We draw a card, and by the way, back to 19. I hope you liked your burn, bro. And I mean, we don't need to attack even. We will make Impulse. By the way, this is all of the Teferi from our deck. Top 12 cards, easy. And also double Urza, just in case. So our opponent does what he needed to do a long time ago, so he will play a land. With some burn. To be honest, like, when they hit 3 lands, they can basically play all the hand, so yeah, cool. I will actually play this, so it goes faster. I mean, you don't say no to this. I didn't meld so far. I need to do it. I absolutely need to do it. So we will play fast. I should probably go for the longer game, but no freaking time. And I will draw 2 cards. You know why? Because I want to give my opponent a chance. And let's go for Sylex. Like, I mean, why not? We do not attack, we want to absorb the most damage. So the Weakstone and the Mightstone, or whatever, you can either draw 2 cards or just kill one of the creature with -5/-5. I mean, no. Whatever. And it can add 2 mana, and it's the same as Power Stone, so it cannot be used to cast something that is not an artifact. You can also use it to power abilities, which is the main idea with the Urza, right? So you can power the 7. Yeah, so he basically tries to manually burn our Urza, which is absolutely fine, because we can play another one. Like, I have quite a lot of mana. Yeah, but we cannot do everything, so I think let's go for the Blast Zone. Let's draw a card, heal some. Man, this card seems really cool. Like, I love this kind of cards. And guess what? Urza is here. By the way, triple Teferi, easy, and the land. And we are back in with 18, with all of this stuff. Man, I really like the Union. Like, especially it's a common. And for this reason we also do not block. We want to make sure that he is double burn to do everything. I don't know why it's in the graveyard highlighted, and I do not care. Like, I'm at 12 and I'm melding Urza. Life could not be better. We are at 13. And activate the ability, yes! First game and we are already doing it. Okay, I've seen this in action. What can we do? We can exile everything, that seems pretty good idea. But probably we create tokens. And I mean, do we have mana to cast stuff? Not really, not really. So let's draw cards, I guess. Yeah, like, our opponent is down to 1 card. Like, that was definitely fun. I wish he'd stayed for a little while, but he was so out of this game. Alright, we are going first. I like the Union. This card is pretty decent so far. And we will just go for Sylex, and guess what? Then we will go for Sylex, and for some reason I press full control. Like, my recording button is with control, so if you see full control, sometimes it just means I pressed it. And you can see that the new edition absolutely changed the meta. Like, I don't even recognize this card, I have never seen this deck. And I definitely didn't play against it for last 2 months. Oh, magic. Never freaking change. So the third, it can be Liliana. It can be Liliana. So let's go with Urza's Sylex. It's generally kinda annoying card. And how does it work? 4 mana for Sweeper. And Mono Black doesn't really have ways to go around it. So now they need to think about their next play. If they play like Trespasser, we just blow everything up. And first stinger, okay, that's a thing you can do. And they didn't sacrifice, that's kind of weird. Maybe it's good, maybe it's good. So, what do we do? Do we blow everything? I mean, we can just take our turn, right? Like, we are kinda fine. If he plays land and doesn't do anything, we are in trouble because he gets conscripts at the end step. But I don't think he will be so smart to do it. And the fact that we heal basically, what, 5 HP, means that we effectively go down to 13, and we are absolutely fine. It also means that we have Negate up, and we draw a card, we develop lands, we heal with the Cove. He will probably not play anything, right? He did not. Alright, so I guess the Nightmare scenario happened. He will get double conscript, and we drew only lands this game except Sylex. So that's interesting, that's for sure. I mean, Negate is a thing that might happen, and I think for this reason, I mean, we should play the tap land, honestly. Alright, so I was punished for my gamble in the end. We didn't really get anything out of this. And I guess that's fine, so they will have double. I thought that at 1800 they don't see this play, to be honest. But it is highlighted, so they will know right now, even if they didn't plan for it. Yep, we need another Sylex, and we are at 9 or 10 with the Cove. And I mean, we play the Cove, we play Sylex, we say go with Negate, and then we try go for the Emperor. Yep, that is the case. Definitely punished for hoping for his mistake. This is one of the reasons you generally don't play into your opponent's mistakes. But, you know, sometimes it's just super cool. I mean, we might negate. Let's just make sure that we do. Yeah, and Emperor is a very decent draw. So he will probably go with the Tenacious Underdog. It might be a cut down, most likely it is. So he attacks. We don't go for blockers. Okay, we go for the Emperor. And I think if he targets with cut down his Underdog, which will not happen, we will just negate probably. And now we can make the Emperor if we really want. Alright, that's definitely a negate. It might be Invoke Despair after, but we don't super care. Man, that's a lot of lands that we drew. So it was what? 3, 6, 9 lands in 14 cards, so around 60, 70 nearly percent. That's a lot. So let's put the guy. We get 1 HP, just in case, and we go with the Sylex. So hopefully next time we can get some Planewalkers on top of a Sweeper, and I hope that will be enough. Yep, so we will be at 1, which is a bit scary against Mono Black. They have so many ways to do it, but we do have Emperor. We have Emperor. First Stinger. Great. So we made the mistake and we got punished.